Welcome back to Kings at the Table podcast, where if you're a king, you belong at the table. And Juan, we gonna get into this conference championship week. There were some pretty good damn games that went down this week.
Were they really that good? Well, I mean, I could honestly say one was really good. The other one was more disappointing.
I thought they were both pretty damn good.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, which one was the disappointing one? You gonna probably go with the Raven one?
Yep, that was the one that was disappointing for me, Rich.
What disappointed you the most about that game?
It was the fact that the Ravens did not look like the Ravens. It was hard to like there was a couple plays that went on, and I was like, no, this shit, no, that's not how this usually goes down. Especially the part where we're so used to seeing the dynamics and the explosiveness of Lamar Jackson, and it never happened.
Yeah.
He did not look like seasoned Lamar or even last week's Lamar. Not even close.
No, yeah, he didn't look like himself at all.
And I mean, like, you would think that this is the part where you're trying to get over this hump. He honestly has a bad record in the playoffs. I think he's 2-6 in the playoffs. And this game, I was like, all right, fuck it, they're gonna do it this time. Lamar's gonna smash the fucking Chiefs, and that's what it's gonna be. And we got complete opposite. I was bamboozled that whole game, Rich. And, I mean, you even pointed it out. They completely went away from their normal routine as to what made them dominant all season.
Yeah, which is rushing the ball.
Yeah.
You know, they're the number one team for rush attempts, and for some reason they just went away from rushing. And it's like, okay, maybe you want to throw them off in the first half and come back the second half and catch them off guard, but they never got back to the run game. And it's like, okay, I get it. This is the playoffs. You want to throw teams off, but at the same time, you have an identity. And the Ravens have been carrying themselves all season like the most dominant team, which we covered every damn week. And they haven't had that bad game until the championship, that conference championship. Lamar Jackson, MVP of this year, you choke. You can't go into this game against Patrick Mahomes. You know, you're talking legacy now. Yep. And you let him come to your house where his biggest criticism was going on the road. And this dude just went into... First of all, he beat the Dolphins. He beat 3 goddamn contending teams.
Yep.
Dolphins goes into Buffalo, beats Josh Allen, then goes into
Baltimore
and beats Lamar Jackson. It's like, hold on. I've been knocking on the Chiefs for a minute now, and I did that last year. They go into the fucking Super Bowl and win it all, and now look at them. They get back there. And it's like, fuck, dude. What am I not seeing? Is it my goggles of how great Mahomes really is, even though that defense carried him?
You know, it's a testament to Patrick Mahomes and, like, what he's doing. And not only that, you know, he goes from the top. You know what I mean? You go Andy Reid. Andy Reid knows what he's doing. He's been there before. He's done this many, many times. You know what I mean? Like, so he knows what it takes to get there. The defense, like you said, has been carrying him. And it's been all the way going back to that Miami game. How they shut down. They take away these things from the other teams and then make you play a different way. And I think that kind of showed what happened with the Ravens, even though I kind of felt like it was more self-inflicted when it came to the Ravens offensively. But then again, going back to the other way, look at how Mahomes was able to move the ball up and down the field. I know it wasn't a lot of scoring. It was, 17-10?
Yes.
But Mahomes was able to move the ball up and down the field, although they only put up 17 points.
Correct. He made the third downs when it was necessary. Now, we're not just saying Mahomes won the game. It's definitely the defense shutting down Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Shouts out to Spagnuolo, their defense coordinator, which he doesn't get the love that he should get, because he beat Tom Brady when he was with the Giants twice.
Yep. You
feel me? And now he's helping Patrick Mahomes on his side. It's like, I bet Tom Brady's like, bro, I wish I had that coordinator.
Fuck. Imagine. He would have never lost one.
Damn, that shit's crazy. Let's get into the game, though, as far as how that, I don't know. I mean, for sure you've seen that play when Snead goes in there and punches the ball out of Zay Flowers.
Man, I play that play in my head a couple times. I was like, man, I understand you want to be that guy, you want to be the hero, but I mean, cover up. I know it was all of a sudden type of thing, or he could have just tucked it, went down at the 1 yard line. You live to see another play.
Oh, I would have went for that.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you want to get that. That super pumped, and of course you have the momentum and everything, all the heat of the moment. And again, he's showing, it shows how young he is. I mean, he's got a long career to go.
What part though?
The part where he should have just kind of like tucked it.
I don't think that shows age. That shows heart. I think that's more of a great defensive play. I mean, this motherfucker never gave up. Snead hawked this shit, punched him right. You talking half yard from the end zone? Now that dude wants to win a Super Bowl. He did it the week prior to the Bills.
He did do it that
and
week
it's like,
before,
goddamn, that motherfucker is the shit.
That defense is playing together right now.
And what gets me is that same drive when Zay Flowers got that pass and he flexed on Snead.
Oh, yes.
So Snead was like, all right, same drive.
He got his get back on that same very next play or 2 plays later.
You feel me? So that shows how bad he wants it.
Yeah.
And that's the thin line between making the Super Bowl and being a conference champion or
runner up.
Yeah, you know.
Damn.
The Chiefs wanted that one, man.
Definitely the Chiefs defense is alive right now. Definitely alive. McDuffie's out there killing it right now. I was just more surprised of the different types of blitzes that they brought up to Lamar, because there was a couple times where he looked lost out there.
Yeah.
Like the blitzes were coming off the other side or whatever, and they were getting to Lamar. And, I mean, he didn't have that great of a run game. So, I mean, yeah, it definitely took a big hit. And Spagnuolo definitely planned accordingly for that game for sure.
Real quick, did you see what the pregame when the kicker –
Oh, with Mahomes and Kelsey?
And Tucker.
That's fucked up, man.
They were hella bullies or what?
They're hella bullies. He's the GOAT of kicking.
Yeah.
I mean, he's up there. I mean, definitely, like, we all know Justin Tucker's such a great kicker. But, I mean, man, that was kind of dirty.
I liked it, but I felt like a Raven player should have came and helped Tucker. Like, I don't know if they were able to see what was going on.
I bet you they saw afterwards for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But there was a lot of chippiness in that game. Yeah. And Travis Kelce, he did that, though, like, as far as the part where getting in these guys' heads on the defense, because, man, he was just egging them on. And then eventually it caught up to him, and then they ended up giving up, 2 unsportsmanlike conducts, I think?
Which were huge.
Yeah, at critical times, too.
And again, you know, we're going to get into the fact that people are kind of trying to say that it was just a flag-driven game. But at the same time, the Chiefs had some calls on themselves. I mean, there was a touchdown that was like 40-yard rush.
Oh, yeah.
And they called the holding, and the holding wasn't even on the opposite side of the –
yeah, complete opposite, and it didn't even matter.
So it's like, you know what, this game was pretty good officiated, I thought, overall.
For the most part. I mean, there wasn't too many flags, I believe. I mean, there were some that were kind of like, come on now. But for the most part, I kind of feel like, you know, it was pretty balanced out, especially, you know, play calling. The officiating.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously they're going to go into the Super Bowl, and we know who the other team is. But as far as, like, Pacheco coming in with Kelsey and Pat Mahomes, do you consider him as X factor somewhat?
Yeah, definitely, because thinking about it, like, you know, there was this high expectation with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Yeah. You know, he was supposed to be that guy, and he kind of fell off during the season. I think he dealt with a few injuries, and Pacheco just emerged as being the guy who he could do it all. And he's definitely been a really big boost into the offense because he provides a lot of spreading too. Yeah, I think he might be a really good X factor going into the next game for them.
For sure. Well, one X factor I thought was huge for this other game we're going to go into was Deebo Samuel. And he played, and the Niners pulled off a crazy comeback. I mean, you're talking one of the biggest comebacks in playoffs history.
Damn near almost like the Patriots when they came back on the Falcons.
Yeah.
Damn near almost. It was a 4-point difference, basically.
The Niners, man, they held their own. They were down, 24-7 at half, come back, win the game 34-31. Juan, what are your thoughts overall about this W?
What up, Detroit? Hella sad. Hella sad. Man, hey, you know, Niners pulled it off. Niners got it done. They definitely started checking off all the boxes that were left unsaid, kind of, sort of speak. How, they're only good when this happens. They're only good when this happens. No, they pulled out all the stops. They came back and won this game. You know, Brock Purdy looked more than just some game manager, for sure. Hats off to the 49ers pulling off a really good win, man. Like, that was very impressive. At halftime, I sat there, I'm like, this is how it's going to end for the Niners, just like this. Like, I mean, I just, like, please, like, something happened.
Yeah.
And fucking they came back and won. I think the Lions got ahead of themselves. You saw Gardner Johnson on the sideline at halftime, already waving to all the fucking fans. Like, I was like, bro, that's way too early.
Right when they showed that, I was like, this guy's tripping. Regardless what the score is,
You
way
still
too
got an
early.
entire second half of football to play.
What was he thinking? Like,
Act like you've been there, my guy.
yeah.
Act like you've been there. And he for sure that was I think the biggest like slap in the face. I'm pretty sure once the Lions they probably already have reviewed it. They're like, bro, what the fuck were you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing that for? Like, I mean, I'm surprised Dan Campbell didn't go over there and get all up on him.
Definitely. But the way the Lions played was great. You know, that first half was something else. They were rushing every freaking down, I felt like, and getting 7 to 8 yards. Niners defense looked very sus. They couldn't stop the run, and they couldn't stop anything, honestly. And I was just like, what is going on? I mean, I sat there and watched this game with some Niner fans, and shout out to Adrian. And I'm asking him, and I'm like, dude, like, what is going on with your guys' defense? And it comes down to that D-line coach. Like, there's no pressure on the quarterback. And it wasn't no stopping, nothing. The offense, I get you only put 7 points at half. I'm just talking first half right now.
Yep.
You know, we're going to get on to the whole game, but
Yeah.
just the first half, you have to have some worries going into the Super Bowl that you can't go down like that again. Like, this is huge how they keep showing that. They showed it with the Packers too. You feel me? Now, I get the coming back was great, but a lot has to do with the coaching. Now, touch that a little bit as far as him going in 4 downs instead of getting field goals and, you know.
Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
That shit's crazy, man. And I've touched on it earlier this season. I was like, man, there's going to be a game. It's going to come back and bite him in the ass. And it just showed that this was that one. I mean, dude, sometimes just take the points. I think they even said that he's like, if we have to end a drive with a kick, we fail that drive. Which is a trip, whether it be a punt or a field goal.
Yeah.
But it says, like, if that drive ends with a kick, it's a failure as a drive. But, I mean, at the same time, too, they did the same thing that the Ravens did. They went away from that run game that second half a little bit, too. They couldn't get that run game reestablished once they tried to start airing it out a little bit. And that's, I think, was the major, major turning point for them because they let their foot off the gas.
But on that 4th down, I mean, it's 24-10. You have the ball with like 8 minutes in the third quarter.
You take those points.
Do you take those points?
You got to, bro. I understand that, like, it's been working for you on 4th down, like your little gambles here and there. But, I mean, at a point, at time that you're in at that moment, you got to take those points.
Are you putting a lot of the blame on the coach?
I don't want to necessarily put all the blame on him, but stuff like that, it does fall back on the coach on that part. I'm not saying that had they kicked that field goal, you know, they would have won. I'm not saying that. We don't know what would have happened.
Can we say that we don't know if they would miss it?
That too.
Okay, because statistically, there was a 47% chance they make the 4th and 2 and a 43% chance that they make the field goal. I'm just saying.
I get that. The whole little, what's that, the analytics.
I'm just saying.
And that I know. But at that point, man, I personally would have just took the points. That's just my call.
Yeah.
You?
That 4th
You take
and
that
2,
points or you going for it?
I'm thinking field goal. But the thing of how that design of that play went, it was a perfect play, dog. And Reynolds, he's not getting enough media recognition. He is the reason they lost the game. I'm sorry to say, man, no disrespect to you as a player, but I'm sorry. I'm sure you're not going to be sleeping right for about a week or two or for a long time. He lost the game. He had some key drops. We're not talking. You don't see it on the media. You're talking Campbell. He lived and died from what they did all year. The ball was in his hands, bruh. Like, how do you're a receiver, a starting receiver. How do you not catch that?
What's the rule, Rich? If it touches your hand?
If it touches your hand, catch that shit, dog.
Yep.
4th and 2, you feel me? You catch that, you keep the ball, it's rolling, and it wasn't just one. He had like
dropped
2
a
or
couple
3.
of them.
He's the reason why they lost. I'm sorry to say. Campbell was living and dying from how they been doing all year. The design was there. The ball was in his hands. What did he do wrong?
Drop
you feel
it.
me? If it was a bad play, like, oh,
You
tip
try to run up
ball.
the middle or something, and they just stuff the line at the right there. Yeah, that's your fault. That was a bad call, but I see what you're saying. But at the same time, man, you just don't put yourself in a situation like that. At least take the points and see where you go from there.
but it's not guaranteed. You feel me?
I understand, but I mean, I have way more confidence in that kicker than I would have
I'm seeing it more of the Lions fan side because they're saying they're fine with the loss because they would have been pissed if they went for the field goal, missed the field goal. They would have been like, why didn't you just stick to what you've been doing all year?
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, so I kind of see why the Lions are okay with that decision. Seriously, I'm like, okay, because it was a good design.
It does make sense.
And I don't know, man. I think that Campbell's taking a lot right now, a lot of heat, which someone has to get blamed.
Yeah.
But put Reynolds on the interview him.
He ain't going to do it. He's done for the season, son. Damn. But, hats off to the Niners. They definitely, going into that second half, man, they turned it on. They got their shit together. I wonder what Kyle Shanahan must have unloaded off in that locker room to get them fired up. And, bro, they came out firing in all cylinders in that second half.
Yeah, shout out to Purdy, though. He came ready to play that second half. I mean, the thing that stood out for him, to me, was his feet on the ground. He was able to get those 3rd and 8s on the ground. You weren't seeing a lot of that throughout the season, and now he's like, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to win this game.
Yep.
And it showed. It showed, like, okay, Purdy, shout out to you because you want to get there. You want it more than most of the guys on the field right now.
Yes.
So,
for sure.
I mean, what does that say about Purdy?
Going forward, I mean, this is going to be a really good Super Bowl. It's going to be a different one this time around. Obviously, a lot of different things on both sides of the ball for both teams. Like Mahomes is going to have, the weapons that he had the first time around, and then the Niners are going to have a different quarterback than they did the first time around, and the one that they all believe and have faith in. And then the defenses are both two different defenses. It's going to be very interesting to see how going forward. But as far as Brock Purdy putting his name in the books, this was a major step up in that and going towards that direction to, carving his name next to some greats. If, it continues onward, you know what I mean? Like going on to, what happens in the next game and going forward from there.
Okay, so the question that's airing out right now is more of, did he separate himself from the average quarterback, from like the Dak Prescotts, the Kirk Cousins, little slightly above average? Did he separate himself from them?
Absolutely, I believe so, because what's something that he's done that these guys haven't done? Got to the big show. Dak's never been there. Dak's never even, he's only won, one game, I think? One game. Your Kirk Cousins, I don't even think he's won a playoff game. This guy has came in his first year and this year and gotten to the same exact spot, +1 now, and he's only in his second year. So, I mean, obviously that means that he's made that jump. It's always like, okay, you got this far, fall down, get back up. And he got up and he got past that one part. Now he's going to the Super Bowl. This is going to be the ultimate deciding factor of where his legacy is going to go from here. I think this is the big major part of opening the door in establishing himself as an elite quarterback in the NFL.
Did that just come out of your mouth, Juan?
Yeah, I mean, it did.
You think that Brock Purdy's an elite quarterback if he wins the Super Bowl?
No, I'm saying this could be the start
Correct.
of him becoming an elite quarterback.
That's huge.
It's the start,
That's very big in a young quarterback and with the team he's on, especially when people are saying that, he has all the weapons around him, but now it's like he can potentially be elite. There's a lot of pressure on this game.
Oh, for sure there is.
You know what I'm saying? You talking about a young guy. He knows that's the headlines.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure.
It's a David and Goliath battle, especially you got Mahomes here and you got Brock Purdy here.
Yeah.
You got the giant who's already pre-established, and you got the young guy who's ready coming out.
Yep.
So this is his moment.
This is his moment to shine, huh?
Yep.
Sheesh. Any other little topics we got to talk about, Juan?
No, I think that about covers it for this one, man. It's going to be a really good one on the next one when we come back around and we give you guys our predictions and
breakdowns, and we're going to let you guys know who we got in the Super Bowl, and we'll do a little more of maybe a prize pick kind of thing.
Yep.
Stats.
There you go. Something like that. Some over-unders.
For sure. All right, Juan, what do we always say on this show?
If you're a king,
you belong at the table. Make sure you like, share, and comment. Gone.
See you.